What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? It is your Diva and Knowledge Lady Mocha. Represent Mocha's Cafe de Paris, where I'm always serving wisdom, knowledge, and spiritual awareness. I definitely want to thank all of my subscribers, which I don't see you as subscribers, but I see each and every one of you pretty much as family. So I definitely want to thank my family for supporting me and riding with me throughout this whole journey since I started this channel. Also thought it was imperative that I also put this information out there as well. To all of my ladies, I'm going to be starting a channel specifically for the ladies, and it's going to be called Mocha's Ladies Lounge. And if you see in my comment section, I I posted the link there. So if you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to that channel, and that channel is going to be specifically for the women. The reason why I felt I needed to start a channel specifically for the women is because women need a place where they can talk about issues as women. And I don't, and my intent with the channel is to not make it a feminist channel. It's not a channel that's going to be about bashing men and all of this drama as far as division in the sisterhood amongst black women. It's definitely going to be a channel that's totally different above the rest that you see in the YouTube sector. That's what my aim is to give the ladies a home where we can talk about issues as women, talk about raising children, talk about marriage, talk about single women, what we need to do as women to better ourselves, and in order for us to find the right type of companion that we need to be with. And I really don't think it's a lot of women on YouTube that's promoting you know spiritual enlightenment or upliftment for women. It's always teaching women things that actually cause more harm than help. It's too many sisters out here on their channels that are promoting, you need to find a man with money, or you need to get a man that looks good, or, you need to stop messing with black men and you need to swirl. It's too many channels that are promoting negative content for black women. And this is the reason why we cannot grow. This is the reason why we cannot elevate, and we cannot better ourselves, because we have other sisters that are not really relaying the correct message, things that are going to help us, things that are going to help us to become better women. And that is something that I strive to do. So if you have not already, please make sure, for all of my ladies only, that you subscribe to Mocha's Ladies Lounge, because there's a lot of things I want to do with the women. It's more that I would like to do. It's a lot of women out here who are stepmothers, helping men raise children that are not theirs. I want to do more content about that. I also want to do content about women who have become grandmothers and they're not even 40 years old yet, and they're having a lot of difficulty raising a child that already has a child of their own. So it's a lot of issues with black women. We have a lot of issues. We have a lot of dysfunction going on within the black community as far as black women, how we perceive life and how we deal with obstacles. And I think women do need a place where they can help to better themselves, and that's what I aim to do. So again, it's not a feminist channel about bashing men and things like that. It's just a totally different home that I think women need for themselves, and it's issues I want to discuss. And I don't want to offend any of my male subscribers. So out of respect for the men, I would rather have a separate platform for the women, because there's certain issues I want to discuss, and I don't want any of my male subscribers taking my message the wrong way, as if I'm coming off feminist and things of that nature. And just to avoid all of that, I'm just going to have a separate platform for the ladies. So ladies, all of my female subscribers, make sure you subscribe to my channel, Mocha's Ladies Lounge. The link is there. And once you subscribe, you will pretty much see the direction I'm going. Now, that goes without saying, I'm still going to keep my regular channel here like I've always done. I'm still going to discuss my issues about black women like I've always done. I'm still going to discuss my issues about black men whatever, like I've been doing, because this channel here is very balanced, but I need to do a separate channel for the women. So with that being said, that is my new project. That's gonna be my new channel. So ladies, make sure you subscribe over there as soon as you can. Okay, so I'm going to be uploading some content on there for the women, because I feel it's a lot of women. They need a good place to go to. It's a lot of black married women out here. We have a lot of black wives, and I feel like black wives matter. And that's going to be one of my segments. Black wives matter, because we do. And I think a lot of black women who are married, we don't get a lot of credit. Um, we don't have too much of a place where we can go and let our guard down, and we can talk about marital issues, because it's not enough sisters that's talking about marriage. They're talking about, how marriage can, you should get in a marriage that can benefit you, and where you can get secure the bag, and anything that's going to help you build yourself as a woman. But there's not enough channels that are talking about how we as black women should also help to build the men who we have chosen as our husbands, to build the union with. It's all about, it's just too much being promoted for black women about, do you girl, get you girl, do you, make sure you benefiting. And there's not enough of women that are saying that, no, you as a woman, you need to also uplift of your man also, so he could also benefit, so both of you can benefit. But I think it's a lot of channels that's not doing enough of that. And anyway, that's what I strive to do. So enough about that. I want to go right into this topic about the eviction notice. And I know this is kind of alarming, because the first thing people are thinking about, is an eviction notice. What does that have to do with the topic at hand? Well, it's pretty simple. It's more to it than what it looks like. And the reason why I felt it was imperative that discussed an eviction notice is because I have found out over the years, God has blessed me to be on this earth almost 40 years. I'll be 40 in November 7th. God spared my life and blessed me to see it. And I've come to the realization that there has been a lot of people who I've had to get rid of. There's been friendships that I have had to end. There's been relatives that I no longer confide in, that I don't share all of my personal business or my personal feelings with, because when we fell out or had a disagreement or things went left, the same people I confided in was the same people who turned around and used everything personal I ever told them against me. And I know that I am not the only one who has been in this boat. And that's why it's important that you do whatever it takes to protect your peace. In the words of Malcolm X, by any means necessary, you have to protect your peace, because people don't have a problem with using you as a dumping ground. People will dump their misery on you. People will dump their chaos on you. And if you leave yourself open to allowing people to use you as an emotional punching bag, that is what they will continue to do. And that is why you have to get the nerve to find the courage within yourself to start handing out eviction notices. What's an eviction notice? We all know what an eviction notice is. Basically, if you are a tenant and you have been residing in somebody else's property for an extensive amount of time, and you have not been uh responsible, you have not been paying your rent, you have not been basically taking care of your responsibilities as an adult, and you allowed a substantial amount of debt to build up to the point to where you finally are getting handed an eviction notice by your landlord, because you can't just stay on somebody's property for free and not pay. Because when you don't pay the landlord, what it does is it puts the landlord in the bind. It puts the landlord in the hole, waiting on you for you to get your shit together. So the landlord is not sinking with you, because when you don't pay your landlord has other things that he needs to do with that money. He has to pay property tax. He has to pay for maintenance. Anything goes wrong in that property. And as a tenant, When you don't do what you're supposed to do, you don't hold up the end of the deal. What your landlord has to do is go through court and file court lien against you, or court document against you, in order for you to be evicted. In other words, you have to move out, and it's an extensive process that a lot of landlords have had to go through. They got to go through court and basically file an eviction letter, because they know you're not going to move out willingly. You're going to lay it. You're going to basically stay on their property as long as you can, stay there rent free as long as you can, and not have any regards for them as far as paying them so they can do what they need to do in order to make sure you can live on their property comfortably as a tenant. And that is the same way life operates when it comes to people. When people have taken up so much space in your life and they have caused you so much emotional debt, if you continue to sit there and tolerate all kind of disrespect, foolishness, and chaos and nonsense, it's going to basically put you in a bind. It's going to put you in a bind mentally and emotionally, to the point that you have nothing left to give to yourself, because you have allowed certain individuals to take so much out of you, constantly taking and not giving. And it's like a bank account. If you keep taking money out of the account and you never replacing it and putting it back, what's going to end up happening is you're going to have a negative balance, because you're not putting back what you're taking. And that is the way it is. That's the same way life operates. If people keep taking from you and they're not giving anything back in return, basically it's going to leave you with a negative balance. Basically, you're not going to have anything established or anything worth having for yourself. And that's why you cannot get to a point to where you can't use things as an excuse to tolerate people mistreating you and people taking advantage of you. I don't care if y'all had a history together. I don't care if y'all knew each other way back from third grade, fourth grade. Not only that, you can't use history as an excuse. You can't use family as an excuse. Just because y'all blood, just because that's mama, just because that's dad, just because that's sister, just because that's your son or your daughter. Um, Anybody that in your life, I don't care if it's a family, or I don't care if it's friends, anybody in your life that is causing you strife, that is causing you aggravation, that is becoming an emotional toll over your life, you have to find it within yourself to get to that point to where you hand them eviction notices and say, you know what, today is the day I got to move you up out of my life. I'm not going to allow myself to become a victim under your prey of misery, just so you can find contentment. Because the truth of the matter is, you're going to find out more and more and more as you live this life, loyalty is almost non-existent these days. It's all about people these days are mostly looking out for themselves, and they don't care who they got to burn and who they have to hurt in order for them to get to where they are. And you have to also keep in mind that sometimes being humble does not make people more appreciative of you. Being humble, if anything, what it does is it makes people take advantage of you even more, because people will mistake your meekness for weakness. And that is something I had to find out the hard way, because I've always been a very humble person. And that's the thing about humble spirited people. People who are very giving, people who are very loving. Whenever you come into contact with people that are very heartless and selfish, they will mistake your meekness for weakness, because people are not used to people being kind anymore. People are not used to people being genuine anymore, or caring and loving. It's almost foreign to people for you to be a good person. Believe it or not, as simple as something like that is, it is foreign for you to be a good person. And when you're giving yourself as a good person to a person that has ulterior motives, what it tends to do over time is it takes you to a place to where you end up having to find yourself to where you got to become damn near a beast to let that person know you're not a force to be reckoned with. I've been in situations where I've had friendships, because I'm a longevity person. I like long-term friendship. I like long-term relationships. I've just never been the type of woman where I'm jumping from friendship to friendship. I ain't trying to become friends with everybody I meet. I've never, even relationship wise, I've never wanted to be one of those females that jump from dude to dude to dude, break up with this man, move another man in my apartment a month or so later. I've always valued stability. I never cared for all that jumping around. I don't like change. And I think that's bad sometimes. I'm the kind of person, if something is already going good, I don't want it to change, because my thing is, if it's not broke, why fix it? But the bad thing is, we're in a world where things are constantly changing. So you cannot be one of those people that want to stay in one box. And that's the harsh reality that I am discovering. Just because the system is going good for a long period of time, that don't mean you have to stay there. You do have to make some changes. And I'm just not good with that. But I realize, and this is the reason I'm doing this content, we all have to realize that things do change. And most importantly, people do change. Does not matter how you used to connect with a person back in 1992. So much could have happened in that person's life from 1992 all the way up into 2022, where you are not going to get that same person out of them that they was when you met them. And that goes for relationship, that goes for friendship. I've had friendships with people who I was very close to in high school, and I kept trying to find an excuse to see the good in people that I should have gotten rid of, that I should have handed eviction notices to a long time ago. I want to see the good in them because I was looking at the history. I'm looking at the fact we know each other way back when. Our kids grew up together. We've been through so much together, because when you want to see the good in somebody, you would try to come up with all kind of excuses to justify their behavior. Now, meanwhile, the shoes on the other foot, you do them wrong now. Let you do them wrong, let you mistreat them. They're not going to take history or nothing into consideration. They will cut you off automatically. And I find it ironic that people who we are constantly sparing and constantly forgiving, if you would have done to them what you have allowed them to do to you would have got cut off a long time ago. And I think that a lot of us have created more chaos in our life because we held on to people longer than we should have. We've given them positions that they did not earn. Like for instance, you cannot just give people the position of being a friend. You just can't give people that title any kind of way, especially not these days. You can't go around just throwing that word around. This my friend, he my friend. You people have to prove that. They have to earn your friendship. And I think that's the problem with people. We give people positions in our lives that they have not earned. And then we wonder why in the long run, when we look back and we realize all of the disrespect we took is because first of all, how did that person become your friend? What did they do to earn your friendship? Other than y'all had a couple of things in common, or y'all like the same music. We give people instead of making people earn us. You have to make people earn you, earn your friendship, earn your relationship. They have to earn that. You shouldn't just be passing out friendship like free samples at Sam's Wholesale. Um, Not only that, even with relationships, it's a lot of us, men and women, especially women, we put so much of ourselves out there so fast, so quick, because we are fretful that if we don't hurry up and catch the first man that gives us attention, God forbid, he's going to walk out and get with another woman, and then you turn around and you give yourself up quick and give yourself up fast, and he turns around and gets with another woman anyway. Same thing for you men. You don't really take the time to get to know a woman, and study her and figure out her alternative motives when it comes to you. You think because she looks good, she has a nice body, you don't give it a second or third thought. You already handed this woman, keys to your apartment, the keys to your cars, and most of all, you give her the combination of your heart now, and she uses all of that against you. Once she done had all of what she needed, now she's ready to jump ship and go to the next man. Now you feeling hurt and you in your feelings, and now you done built up a hatred for all women just because you gave the wrong woman the opportunity that she never should have earned in the first place. And that is what I'm saying. You got men and women who both do it. We both are guilty of giving people too much of ourselves, and they have not proven to us that they are even worthy of all of what we're giving them. So it's very important that you are careful how much and how soon you give yourself to somebody. Now, back to this eviction notice thing. As I stated before, I have had to hand out eviction notices. When I saw my peace was being compromised, when I saw my loyalty started being mistaken for stupidity. Because let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, just because you've been dedicated to something or someone for X amount of years, in your mind, you may consider it being loyal because you've been there for years and you've been dedicated by giving your time. But do you not know that loyalty can become stupidity if you have set up there and you've been loyal to the wrong person for the wrong reasons? You felt that you needed to be loyal to this person because, again, y'all have a history together, or y'all got kids together, or y'all blood related. Loyalty could become stupidity when you keep investing into somebody and they're not giving you nothing in return. So you have to be careful with that, because I hear people say that all the time. Well, I was loyal to him. I was loyal to her. Okay, yeah, but your loyalty ended up transitioning into stupidity once you saw no matter how much time, how much effort you put into that person, once you saw you was getting nothing back and you still continue to stay, it's no longer loyalty. It's stupidity at that point. You have to learn when to hand people their eviction notice and let them know that their time is up in your life. If people come in your life for a season and for a reason, and everything has an expiration date. Even life has an expiration date, because none of us are promised to be here forever. We all have an expiration date, and that's the same way it is with people. Just because certain folks started off in the race with you, that don't mean they're going to be there all the way to the end. Sometimes God will allow certain people in your life just to get you to a certain point. And I look back and I reflect on things that I have gone through, and as much as I hated the betrayal, and I hate and I resent, the fact that I got burnt in the process. It was a good thing. It was the best thing that could have happened to me, because what it did was it helped me to grow up, and it removed that curse of being naive and gullible, because I was always very gullible and naive. Always want to see the good in people. And the thing about it was, once you get burnt enough, you will stop looking at people for who you want them to be, and you will start seeing them for who the hell they truly are. In the words of Maya Angelou, once a person shows you who they are, believe them. Once you see a certain side, I don't care if it's one time, or once you get a certain hunch, or you get a bad vibe about a person when you meet them, and this could probably be your first time ever encountering them. They probably never did nothing wrong to you, but just that vibe, you just feel that y'all can't connect spiritually. Y'all can't really vibe. You can meet somebody and for some reason something about them you just don't like, and it's a reason for that, because we are dealing with what's called spiritual warfare. And it's not even so much the person that you don't like, it's the spirit that they carry, and you cannot ignore that spirit. I've found myself, I've come to discover that every time my spirit told me not to like a person, it was always right 100% of the time. Because I would meet a person for the first time, and whether if it was on a job or whether if it was at like a little convention, and it would just be something about them that my spirit would not just didn't settle with. Something about that person my spirit just wouldn't settle with. And I'm like, why do I feel some type of way around this person? This person's never done nothing to me. I've never done nothing to them. We never fell out. Why do I not like this person? And I'll say that has happened to me, because I don't feel that way with everybody. I'll say that has only happened to me about I'll say 4 or 5 times in my life. I've met somebody and didn't like them right off the bat. It's been a couple of people that was close to people I loved. Like my mom had certain friends, I just didn't like them. It was just always something. And sure enough, months down the line, that person ended up doing something to where my intuition ended up being right. See, I knew this person. I knew it. I knew it. So you cannot disregard your intuition. You cannot disregard when your spirit just does not mix with another person's spirit. And that's for good reason. That's God's way of warning you, especially if you have a connection with God and you're in that spiritual realm. He's going to protect you from certain individuals. And he will definitely put that in your spirit. No, you don't need to connect with this person. You don't need to be friends with this person. And it's a reason for that. And I've learned to take heed to my spirit. I don't care how much a person smiles and laughs in my face. If the vibe is not natural, and that's another thing, I don't force anything. And I think that's a big issue that a lot of men and women tend to do. You try to force people to like you, or you try to force yourself to like a person that you know you really shouldn't like. My thing is, if I don't vibe with you naturally, then we just don't vibe. I don't force anything. I don't force friendship. I don't force ponytails. I don't force anything. I'm not about to force something if it's not naturally. We just don't naturally connect. We don't naturally vibe. I'm not going to force it. I don't care how nice you are. We may even have a few things in common. You may even drink the same drink I drink at Starbucks. We may even like the same movies. We may even share a lot of the same philosophies in life. That don't mean we need to connect. And that's a big problem that you're gonna find out. Just because you and the person has a few things in common, that don't mean that y'all should connect. Just because you and him could talk about all the women y'all had all day long back in the day, that don't mean you and that dude need to be connected. Or just because you and her both are going through problems in your marriage, that does not mean y'all need to be the best of friends. Because I realize too that some people will also pretend that they can identify with your struggle just so they can get close to you. That happens a lot too. So you have to be careful with that. When you share a lot of information about yourself, that gives people the combination of knowing how they can come in on you. That gives them leverage over your life. And that was one of the biggest things that was one of the harsh realities for me was I always shared too much of myself. And when you share a lot of yourself, when you give people open book to your life. You let them know what makes you angry. You let them know what makes you happy. You let them know too much about yourself. When you reveal too much about yourself, that gives that person a lot of leverage to attack you in an event that they get upset with you about something. It's kind of like if you know you got a bad knee injury and you're supposed to be a professional boxer. Let's say you are a professional boxer, like Floyd Mayweather. Let's say you're a professional boxer, and you recently had a knee injury, okay, that nobody knows nothing about. And you have a fight that's getting ready to come up within a week, and you're training and everything, and you know you got that bad knee, but nobody knows it but you. And you struggling with that particular when you're struggling with that knee even during your training, so you decide to relay this information to somebody on your team who you feel has your best interest. That, look, I know I have this fight coming up within a week, but I'm worried about my knee. I had an injury, I had a car accident like a couple of months ago, and I thought my knee would recover. My knee hasn't recovered. That person could sit there and act like they relate to your struggle, like, yeah, I injured my knee too, but guess what? Don't let that defeat you. You still go out there, you fight, uh, don't let that discourage you from not wanting to continue through with this fight that you got going on. Just focus on the positive. Don't worry about your knee. Now, that person decides to slip that information to somebody who knows the person, who knows your opponent that's supposed to be in the ring with you the next time during the fight that you got coming up. You and this person get in the ring and you are tearing them up. You getting your licks in. Your opponent seems to be struggling, trying to fight you back. So when he realizes that he's on his last leg, what does he decide to do? he decides to illegally strike you in your knee, which you can't do that in boxing. But he decides to strike you in your knee because he's butt hurt and he can't handle the fact that he's getting ready to lose this fight. So he wants to attack you where he knows you are weak, where he knows you are vulnerable. Well, is the way it works with people. I have had women do that to me in friendship. That's why I don't bubble with a lot of women like I used to. I have told two female friends that I was very, very close to at one point in time, deep, intimate stuff that really should have only stayed with me till I went to stayed with me to the grave. That's how deep and secretive about the stuff that I have gone through. It should have not went anywhere but to my grave. But me being a woman, we have to have somebody to talk to. You have to be able to vent. And you share these things with these women. And this is the bad part. You can share something deep with somebody and they will sit there and empathize with you. They will sympathize with you while you are sharing your innermost um vulnerable weaknesses, and you are sharing these things with them. What you have done is you have opened the floodgates to the enemy. Now the enemy has enough information about you stored in their back pocket. So the moment y'all fall out or have a disagreement or things go left, you don't think they're going to go in that back pocket and pull out all of those secrets, everything you ever told them, because again, we're in a world where it's all about having a one up. People don't want you to get the best of them. People not going down without the fight. You have some people, they can't handle being sore losers. Me, I don't mind being a sore loser to a certain degree. I don't mind walking away from something, even if I didn't get my last word, even if I didn't get my last lick in, even if I did not get if I didn't get the privilege to retaliate and get my word in. I'm like, you know what? I got to get peace in the situation. I don't care if I don't get the last word. I just want it to be over. But we're in a world where people can't handle being a sore loser. They will go all out their way to make your life miserable just to prove a point, just so they can have the last word. And you have to be the bigger person, as bad as it sounds. At some points, sometimes you have to be the big person. And at other points, you're gonna find yourself that being a bigger person don't always work, depending on who the hell you're dealing with. Some people you can't be the bigger person. You just got to be damn beast. And I'm the kind of person, once I have tried to be the bigger person and you still won't leave well enough alone, now you're going to bring out the beast in me. And I've been in situations where I had to let that person see the beast in me because they just kept trying me, especially when I know I'm being an adult and I walked away. I'm not even talking bad about you. I'm not on Facebook posting anything about you. I'm not going around airing your dirty laundry stuff that you told me in the friendship. When I have gone on about my business peacefully and you still try to make a war for me, well, you know what? I'm going to bring you a war and I'm going to be dropping more bombs than Afghanistan. So in some cases, you cannot always be the bigger person. But in every case, you don't always have to be beastie. Certain things are not worth entertaining. Certain people are not worth you bringing out that side of you, because people will take you to a place that you didn't even know you can go to. I didn't even know I could be beastie until somebody really took me to that point where I had to get beastie. I didn't even know it was in me. And sometimes you don't know what you're capable of until a person takes you to a certain point. And that's why you can never be judgmental and tell somebody, well, if I was you, I would have did this. If I was you, I would have done that. Until you actually get in that situation, you really can't co-sign and really say and put in your input on what you would or wouldn't do. You just can't. You really can't do that. But I know I'm all over the globe, but basically the point that I'm saying is you have to learn when to hand out these eviction notices. You have to learn when to not allow people to take vacancy in your life, in your mind, in your spirit. A lot of us, the reason why you have attitudes, you angry, and you stressed out all of the time is because it's too many people taking vacancy in your life. There's too many negative people taking vacancy in your life. This is the reason why you're stressed out. This is the reason why you're overwhelmed. You're giving too much of yourself to people who you should have cut off and handed eviction notices long time ago. And my thing is, even in life, teeth and tongue is going to fall out. You're going to have disagreements. You're going to say things you didn't mean. We all are human. But when you keep repeating the same mistakes over and over, or when a person has done you in more than one time, it is time to hand them an eviction letter. Especially if y'all have already crossed that road, y'all talked about it, y'all said y'all going to squash it. Okay, I'm going to make sure from here on out, I don't ever do that to you again. Y'all have already sorted this out. And the moment y'all have another disagreement, that person goes right back to that very thing that caused y'all to lose that trust, or to build that chaos amongst one another. It is time to hand the eviction notice. Stop making excuses for people, for people to help it be acceptable to them, that it's okay for them to treat you a certain way, because you program people to how they treat you. You do. Whatever you tolerate from people, that is how you program them to treat you. You take all type of disrespect. You take all type of chaos and foolishness. You're basically helping that person to build how to treat you. So it's very imperative that you don't allow negative behavior to become a consistent thing, because what happens is you normalize people to treat you a certain way. You program people to treat you a certain way. And respect, once it has been burnt, it is hard to make a person respect you again. Once they have disrespected you so many times, no matter how much you cuss them out, no matter how much you put them in their place, you have to hand them the eviction notice, because some people are too far gone. Some people, you cannot reprogram them. You cannot reroute their mindset to treat you a better way. Some people, once they have become accustomed to doing you in and handling you all kind of way, you cannot retrain them. It's already cemented, it's embedded into them that it's okay for them to treat you the way they treat you, talk to you the way they talk to you, and handle you the way that they handle you. Just hand them the eviction notice. That is no different than a landlord. Landlord is not going to argue with you about you ain't been paying your rent in 2, 3 months. He's not going to keep threatening you to put you out of his property. What he's going to do is fall back, go to court, get the dispossessory warrant, and get your behind moved off his property. And it's as simple as that. And that is what a lot of us need to be doing. You need to start handing out eviction notices. You know that person has been a thorn in your ass for far too long. Stop making excuses for her. Stop making excuses for him, because you love him. You love her. Y'all got a history together. Y'all been through too much together. And guess what? Y'all going to continue to keep going through more, because that person does not see your worth. They do not respect you. While you're up here, a lot of us, we are protecting folks that don't respect us. Stop protecting people who don't have any respect for you, who don't have any value for you. You up here trying to spare them of their feelings because you don't want to hurt their feelings. Well, I don't want to just let them go like that. I don't want to just lose them like that. But the sad part is they don't care about losing you, because if they did, they would be doing everything possible to try to get along with you, to try to compromise with you, try to work with you. Let me tell y'all something. Anytime a person really wants something, they're going to do everything they can to make it work. All of this, what I can't help it. I can't. Oh, they can help just what they're doing. They can help what they're doing. They just don't want to help themselves when it comes to you. Okay, so y'all have to start handing out these eviction notices. Get rid of people that's disturbing your peace. And I don't care if they family, especially family. We will make all kind of excuses for family. You will take stuff off of people because they family. That's my son. I don't want to do them like that. That's my daughter. I don't want to get rid of her. That's my mama. That's my daddy. I done my people. I don't never want to turn my back on my blood, and I don't ever just want to leave my family and walk away. But if it's causing you, being a part of their life is causing you to be miserable, it's causing you pain, it's causing you to be disrespected, then guess what? You are doing yourself and that person a disservice. And you're doing yourself a disservice because you're trying to come up with all these excuses. Well, that's my daughter, that's my son. Guess what? Well, if that's your daughter, that's your son, guess what? They not respecting you as their mother and father. If that's your niece and nephew, guess what? They're not respecting you as they aunt. So you're so worried about losing them, but they don't give a damn about losing you. You don't want to rub them the wrong way and offend them, but they steady rubbing you the wrong way and offending you. You don't want to make them mad. You don't want to make no waves. You don't want to seem like the bad guy. Meanwhile, they just stumping and stumping over your heart and over your spirit, and it's tearing you down mentally and emotionally because you're trying so hard to be good to them because you want them to see them, you want them to feel the love that you have for them. You want them to know that you down for them, that you'll never leave them. And the sad part is a lot of them, they know that. They know that you love them. That's why they continue to do what they do. They know that you'll never leave them. That's why they continue to do what they do. It comes a point where you're going to have to you cannot allow the enemy to keep taking vacancy in your life to we're making the enemy feel way too welcome in our kingdom. And when I mean by your kingdom, I mean by your spirit. You have to be very careful with who you allow in your kingdom, who you allow to partake in your emotions. Anything that's draining you or sabotaging your self-worth, making you hate yourself to the point to where you feel like you can't really be who you are, you want to hand an eviction notice. Evicted. And you'll feel so much better when you do. At first, yeah, it's going to be hard and you're going to have a hard time, but you got to start from somewhere. God damn, you in 2020. This been going on since what, 2004, 5, 12, 16. How long is it going to go? We are in 2020. And the way things are going these days, life is getting shorter and shorter. You don't have time to be BSing with people and taking all kind of foolishness off of people. It's time to start handing out some eviction notices. I don't care if they family, I don't care if they friends, I don't care if y'all homeboys from middle school, elementary. Y'all probably even lost something meaningful to each other. You may have a sibling where y'all both lost both of y'all parents and all y'all got is each other. And you may not want to lose that sibling because of the fact that you got no other family. But if that sibling is disrespectful and treating you all kind of way, using you every time you look out for them and give them something, they never pay you back. They never show their gratitude, how appreciative they are. Any of that did, you're going to continue to be miserable. You can't use the fact that y'all both lost something meaningful and you feel like they all you got. No, you got to hand them their eviction notice. Today is the day. I'm moving you out of my life. You got to go. I had a similar situation where I had somebody on my job just don't know how to talk to nobody. And I try to be very humble. I try to give people a benefit of the doubt because I know I'm quick to jump to conclusions. So I allow people to get away with a little bit because I want to be sure that what I'm looking at is exactly what it is before I jump, to a conclusion and assume what I want to assume. Now I already saw she got out of pocket one time. I said, okay, maybe she having a bad day. Maybe, okay. Second time, I said, okay, now I got to watch you because first time I let you slide, the second time you did something similar. That third time when she did it, I had to put her in her place. I had to put her in her place and let her know. That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. Just like a landlord has to reach and contact their tenant and say, look, you only got a certain amount of time. If this is not taken care of, you don't pay this debt, I will be evicting you. I will be having you moved. Same thing you got to do with people. All right. One time, I didn't call you out the first time. I didn't even call you out the second time. But you got one more time to get out of pocket. Just one more time. And I'm going to have to evict you. And guess what? Once a person is evicted, they cannot come back. It don't matter if they want to pay up all their debt. Okay, here's the money. A landlord don't even want your money once he done evicted you, put you all the way out. Now you want to give me the money after I done had to go through courts, after I had to file legal papers, I had to pay court fees to get your ass up out of there. Well, all you had to do was offer me the money while you was in there before I went through all of that. Some people want to play with you and drag you all the way to the goddamn end, and then once you get rid of them, now they want to be sincere. Now they want to come correct. If they did not do it when they had the opportunity, don't allow them to now all of a suddenly, now that they done lost you all the way, now they want to try to reconcile. Nobody should have to lose you completely for them to find out how good you were to them. If you didn't see the good in me while I was there for your ass, then guess what? You out of goddamn gas. Here's your damn eviction letters. You are evicted. And it's as simple as that. So I hope this content helps somebody today. I just felt it needed to be addressed because we keep sparing people too many chances. You want to come with all kind of excuses because you want to see the good in who you want them to be. You're not accepting them for who they truly are and for what they truly are. It comes a point when you cannot allow people to disturb your peace. Peace is priceless. You cannot put an amount of dollars on peace. It's not an amount of money that can buy you peace. It's very necessary, especially these days that you have peace. We got a whole lot going on with these riots between people protesting, people losing loved ones. It's just a whole lot going on. So the last thing you need is, and this is things that are way out of your circle. These issues are things that are way out of your circle that don't even directly affect you. It indirectly affects you, but not directly. So when you have people up close and personal directly in your circle that's disturbing your peace, it's imperative that you evict them so you can get your happiness back. So anyway, y'all, I don't know who out there who's trying to make a decision. It may be time for you to evict certain people out of your life so you can find your peace and you can find your happiness. And that way you can get this burden off of your shoulder. It's not going to remove itself unless you do it. And let me tell you something. Don't wait for other people to take the initiative to get the hell on. Because that's another big mistake we make. Sometimes we want that person to be the one to tell us first. No, sometimes you got to call their ass out and you got to be initiated. No, this friendship ain't going to work. You don't wait for somebody to burn you 1,000 times for them to walk away and leave you. If you already see they burning you and draining you, you need to go ahead and cut that umbilical cord right now and say, you know what, this ain't going to work. What we had is what we had. Our friendship, I appreciate it for what it was, but that's exactly the key. Was. It ain't like that no more. I'm seeing too many things about you that's made me question my friendship, made me question my loyalty. And I'm the kind of person I shouldn't have to question nothing. And the fact that I just have to question it already speaks a lot for itself. So with that being said, I'm going to have to hand you my eviction notice today. Okay, you have to go. So anyway, y'all, leave y'all comment below. Let me know, has there ever been a point in time where you have to finally just hand somebody their eviction notices and say, you know what, I have had enough from you in this friendship. I have had enough of you in this relationship. I got to evict you. Or is there somebody you want to evict, but you just don't have the courage to do it because that's your mama. Mama depends on me. That's my dad. My dad depends on me. But that's my son. My son don't got nowhere else to go. That's my daughter. Is there anybody you feel that you just don't feel right evicting them? If so, you're welcome to comment on that as well. Because right now I think we're in a state of an emergency. And not only we are at war with the issues in America today, We are at war just and the people who we allow in our circle, people in our family, people who we built some type of bond with. We got constant wars going on other than the wars of what's going within the world today. So anyway, y'all, I appreciate y'all for hanging out with me. Hopefully somebody has learned something in this content. Please hand these negative ass people an eviction notice, okay? Have them to move off of your spiritual property. All right. So make sure y'all leave y'all comments below. Again, ladies, don't forget, I told y'all I'm starting my own separate platform specifically for the ladies, for female subscribers, Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Make sure you ladies subscribe to that. As far as my guys, I'm going to keep doing my content over here with y'all about Black women like I've been doing and about relationships and things of that nature. So the content that I've been doing over here is not going to change at all. I just had to do a separate platform. Those of you who are interested in cable, again, I have 6,000 channels, only $25 a month. You just have to have a Fire Stick, and you have to have 20 megabytes per second as far as high-speed internet in order to get good streaming. Free live pay-per-view events at no additional charge. You'll get 6,000 channels. A lot of channels international. I got channels from Brazil, from Jamaica, from Africa, from China to Netherlands. Not only that, you will be getting all of the channels in the USA. Also, your movie and premium channels, your HBOs, your Showtimes, your Stars, your Cinemax, everything, the works. So anyway, email me. I'm going to leave my information for those of you who are interested in my cable at Cafe de Paris at 79, Cafe de Paris 79 at yahoo.com. And I already told you about my cable, $25 a month. Those who want to continue to support my brand, it's Cash App Diamond Girl. Other than that, y'all stay blessed. And today's message was called Eviction Notice. And ladies, don't forget to subscribe again to my channel, Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Y'all be blessed. Take care. Until next time, be safe. Bye.